There are times in life where I was looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, what kind of purpose am I going to live? What can I be thankful for? Now, I wasn't depressed my whole childhood. I had my little 2 toes and I can do quite a lot with my foot today. I can actually type 43 words a minute on a normal computer, and I can actually, with my 2 toes, do the peace sign. Peace, how you doing? And when doctors saw me for the first time, they never thought that I would ever be able to walk or do many things that I'm doing. And today I can tell you that my doctors don't know why I was born this way. My parents don't know why I was born this way. Lady Gaga don't know why I was born this way. And the doctors told my parents that I would never walk, but then they saw me rolling, and then they started seeing me do many different things, and they thought, well, Nick, you can try. No one knows what you can achieve until you try. Why don't we try things all the time? Is there something that you've been wanting to try, but you haven't yet tried really? You're maybe afraid of what? Maybe afraid of failure? Maybe afraid of what people think of you? What about the fear of success? What if it actually really works? I'll tell you right now, when I was trying to learn how to surf in Hawaii, I was laying on the board on my stomach, and I had a pile of towels strapped to the surfboard, and they were pushing the longboard into the waves. And then I would try to use my head to get up. And it was hard because when that board is moving, the G-force against me, it makes it more difficult to try to do this. It took 15 attempts, and everyone on the beach is looking at me. Oh, look at that guy without arms and legs. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so cool. And fail, 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 fail. 15 times. What if you fail? Are you a failure? Hello, Manila. If you fail, are you a failure? No. Have you ever failed at something? Yes. Are we all failures at something? Yes. Are you still here? Yes. Is your achievement and success based on how many times you really are successful the first time? No. It's really how many times are you willing to try? Because how many times you try shows that drive, shows that passion and that priority. And look, it's just surfing, but I wanted to do it. So I try and I finally get up, and I'm like, yeah! And all the beach goes, yeah, rock on! And now I'm on the board, and I'm like, what do I do now, right? The fear of success. I want you to know in your life you don't see the full picture, but I want you to know that I truly believe that every single human being has value. Every single being has a purpose to accomplish, and I don't know what you're going through, but I want to tell you we all have disabilities of the heart. And I want you to know that me trying something had nothing to do with arms and legs. It had to do with the heart and the mind and the spirit. The heart and the mind and the spirit. And I want you to know it was very difficult sometimes to believe that I would ever get married. I thought, man, I have no arms and legs. I can't even hold my wife's hand. Even if I got married, what kind of a husband am I going to be if I don't get a job? Even if we got married and had children, how am I going to hold my kids when they're crying? Well, little did I know that when my 3.5-year-old son cries, I can't put my arms around him, but he puts his arms around Daddy. And I want you to know that beautiful things can come from your broken pieces when you give your broken pieces a chance. Give yourself a chance. The good and the bad. To believe in something you cannot see is faith. To be disabled by fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. Have you heard that one before? Yeah. You know, it's funny how people look at me and their perspective of me, and then my perspective of me, and then what I feel is my creator's perspective of me, my parents' perspective of me. It's just amazing that a man without arms and legs can be seen from different people. And my favorite perspective to see me is through children. I love kids. When they look at me, they're like, oh, what happened? And I say, cigarettes. I love freaking people out, man, seriously. I've been around the world. I've actually traveled 5 million kilometers around the world, 61 countries, 15 presidents and prime ministers, 3,000 stages in front of 6 million people. And I want you to know that in the 2,500 airplanes that I've been on, you kind of get bored after a while. And you come up with some crazy ideas. You know the overhead compartment, right? I get my friends to put me up there sometimes. So I can have more leg room, right? One day, actually, we took it a step further and we actually dressed me up as a pilot and greeted the passengers as they got on the plane. It was awesome. Some people prayed to Jesus for the first time. Get away. You see that bug? It likes my hair. Stop it! I have a new friend. I scared him off. I want you to know that in your life, you have a choice. Either to be angry for what you don't have, or be thankful for what you do. When I saw everyone's perspective of me from school, everyone had arms and legs, but me. My parents, their perspective was that I was beautiful. Their perspective was that I'm special. Their perspective was that I'm perfect just the way that I am. In fact, my dad's book that he just finished writing, it's called Raising the Perfectly Imperfect Child. I am perfectly imperfect. And I want you teenagers to know that when you look at other people's perspective, and even as adults, you know, we feel like we have to keep up reputation. How you doing? Fine. How's the children? Fine. How's everything? Fine. And we put on this mask, you know, to pretend that everything's okay and we have it all together. You teenagers, you know, oh, I feel like I need to say the F word to be cool. Oh, I need a girlfriend to feel cool. I need a boyfriend to feel love. I need big biceps to be cool. Nah, man, my biceps were so big they fell off. You understand me? And I don't know why, but the way that we are made, we want to be loved, but some of us can't even accept ourselves for who we are. And then we pretend and then we change ourselves. But we must understand that we are beautiful just the way that you are. Girls, you don't need a boyfriend to feel loved. I want you to understand that you don't need a boyfriend, you need a husband. You need a man who's willing to sacrifice himself for you, putting your needs above his needs. But if you give him everything he wants, when he wants it, how he wants it, how are you ever going to see if he's ever going to put your needs in front of his needs? It's not about just convenience, it's about understanding your identity, your value, because if you don't know who you are, you will believe the lies of the world, that you need to change who you are. You don't. There's also a lie in the world where it says, well, you need this, and if you could just get here, then everything's going to be okay. I tell you, man, I speak in front of elementary school kids all the time. And I spoke in front of these 8-year-old kids one day, and I said, hey guys, can I ask you a question? And they're like, uh-huh. I said, have you ever been stressed? And I'm thinking they're 8-year-olds, right? So like, how much can an 8-year-old really be stressed out? I mean, they're only 8 years old. I said, have you ever been stressed? They're like, uh-huh. I'm like, what? Oh, because of homework. And my brother, he annoys me every single day. Then all the 13-year-olds, oh, they know what stress is. Oh, everything's changing around me. My parents are freaking me out. They don't understand me. I put a do not disturb sign on my door and they still come into my room. They don't understand how I feel. I don't even know who I am anymore. I'm so stressed out. I need a boyfriend. And then all the 17-year-olds, oh, I'm so stressed out right now because they're going to get out of high school. And if I can just get into university, then everything's going to be what? Okay. You finally get into university. Is everything okay? No. Now you get into university. Now you need money. Or if I could just get a job, then everything's going to be okay. You finally get your job and is everything okay? No. Now you're stressed out because of your boss. You hate your boss. Now all the single people, oh, if I can just find the one, then everything's gonna be okay. No. Go talk to some married people. If you ain't happy single, you ain't gonna be happy married. Can you hear an amen? Amen. Those are the married people saying, amen. Who better to tell you your purpose and your identity than the one who created you? And I want you to know that I believe that there is no such thing as luck, chance, or coincidence. It was no such thing as luck, chance, or coincidence that my parents were my parents and not someone else's. And I, even though was surrounded by love, I could not love myself. I could not love my life because I was trapped in fear. Today, do I look scared? Today, do I look disabled? Today, do I look successful? Yes. Today, do I look happy? Yes. Today, do you think I need anything more? No, why? Because in my heart, in my mind, in my spirit, I've unlocked to me the greatest joy, the greatest reason to live, and a joy that doesn't need to be trapped because of circumstance. I tell you, I've seen more people happy than rich people happy. I've seen more people fulfill their destiny more than people in banks who don't know what destiny really is. You know, janitor at a high school, janitors who clean the toilets, I'll tell you, the janitor at my high school, believe it or not, was fulfilling a great, great thing for this world. What does that mean? Let me come back to him in a second. When I was 10 years old, I didn't believe I had a destiny. And imagine if this is the way to the greatest fulfilled place of Nick Vujicic's life. He's 33 years old. He's a husband. He's a father. He's happy. Here I am today. But when I was 8 years old, I didn't believe the encouragement and the truth to bring me that way. I started to believe the lies. Nick, just give up. Nick, no one's gonna marry you. There is no thing such as God. There is no purpose for your life. There is no hope. Just give up. Just give up. Don't worry, I won't fall. If I fall down, I'll break my arm or something, all right? At age 10, I tried to drown myself in my bathtub. Why? Because I felt like there was no hope. Ladies and gentlemen, was there hope for Nick Vujicic? Was there a great destiny for Nick Vujicic? But I still have the choice not to believe it. It's interesting. Because of the things that we cannot see that are good, and we only see the things that are bad, we're convinced that we're only going to have bad in our life. But you don't know what miracles can come from your broken pieces. I had no idea that I would be in front of so many people. You know who the person was who inspired me to be a speaker? It wasn't my mom, it wasn't my dad, it wasn't a close friend. It was the janitor at my high school who looked at me one day, 61-year-old Arnold from India, and he looked at me and said, "Nick?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You're going to be a speaker." And I said, "Mr. Arnold, you're a crazy old man." I said, "What am I going to share?" He said, "You're going to share your story." I said, "I don't have a story." He says, "Yes, you do." I said, "No, I don't." He says, "Yes, you do." He said, "Nick, you need to speak to the student support group here at school on a Friday at lunch. Will you do it?" No! For 3 months, when I'm at school and he sees me, I'm running away and he's running after me. He stops doing what he's doing. He said, "Nick, speak!" I said, "No!" For 3 months, he's annoying me so much. I said, "Okay, fine." He twisted my arm. I said, "Yes." I got up in front of these 7 or 8 young students about my age, and I was just talking, just sharing. And then I saw this girl cry. I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "I said, "Why are you crying?" "I was just touched." I'm thinking, who touched you? And I didn't know that hope can be received. I can't take it out of my pocket and put it in your pocket. But hope is everything. You see, my dad, he has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He was given 7 or 8 weeks to live. When his brother died of pancreatic cancer, he only had 8 weeks notice before he was dead. My dad still has a tumor the size of his liver on his liver, and doctors don't know why he's still here. But you look at my father and he knows his hope. He knows that his joy is not just here on earth, but he believes in the next life in heaven. And when you believe in heaven for billions and billions of years, what's the point of just focusing on 90 years? There is a greater purpose that we cannot see. And I know every time I leave my dad's side, I haven't seen him for about 3.5 weeks. And I say, "Dad, if I don't see you here, I'll see you up there." Money can't buy hope. And this janitor, he inspired me. And then that love transferred to this girl. And I started speaking a couple times. I spoke in front of about 12 youth groups and 12 churches, and people would come up and take me to their church and bring me back. And one day I came home and my mom was waiting for me. She says, "Nicholas, we need to talk." I said, "Okay." So we go to the kitchen. That's my mom's office, the kitchen. We just sit down across the kitchen counter. She says, "Nicholas, I just need to know the truth." "Okay, what's wrong?" "I don't know what's going on." "But you're going to tell me?" I said, "Tell me what?" She said, "I don't know. But these people who are strangers, they come to here in the house, they pick you up, you go for 2 hours, you come back with them, and you are smiling and they are crying." "What is going on?" I said, "I'm speaking." She said, "What?" I said, "I'm speaking." She said, "What are you speaking about?" I said, "I'm sharing my story." She says, "You have a story?" I said, "I think so." She says, "Well, why are they crying?" I said, "I don't know." And then in front of 300 teenagers one day I spoke, and one girl in the middle of the room started weeping and she couldn't stop crying, and she put up her hand and she said, "I'm so sorry, but can I come up there and give you a hug?" And in front of everyone she came and she hugged me and she cried on my shoulder and she said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. No one's ever told me that they love me. No one ever told me that I'm beautiful the way that I am." That's when I knew that I was born to be a speaker. Just because I have no arms and legs, it doesn't mean I'm limited, because there is a certain destiny that I still have to fulfill. Your destiny doesn't have to look like mine, but I'll tell you, if you don't try to fulfill your destiny, you will never reach your goal. If you wait till you're not afraid, you will never reach your goal. Whatever it is, you have to be ready to try. Courage is not when you're not afraid. Courage is when you do it, when you're not afraid. And that girl who hugged me gave me the passion and the fire. And I said, man, I'm going to fail as many times as I need to reach as many people as I can. Africa, so many people in Southeast Asia who are poor and do not have food. People in Africa do not have food. When I saw World Vision ads when I was an 8-year-old, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to change the life of one orphan. And you know what I did, ladies and gentlemen? I put a photo of an orphan on my mirror. Why? Because every day I knew I would get up and it would feel like war. It would feel like pain sometimes. I would be trapped sometimes by fear, but I look at that orphan smile, and I'm like, you know what? Today is a day closer to my goal. I do want to reach my destiny. Maybe you're in business. Try, keep on trying. Do something different maybe a little bit. Maybe you just have to keep on going. I don't know what business you're in. You're in a church, you're a church leader, put your goals there. Ask your board of directors, how many years before we double in membership? That's a good question to ask. I did 5 nights of speaking at a church, and that church membership till today, 18 months later, grew by 20% in 5 days of preaching, in evangelizing. Maybe you're in school and you feel like you have some goals that you can't achieve. Whatever your goals are, you can try. And when you fail, what? Get up, try again. If it's destined for you to be that, it's going to happen. What if Nick Vujicic was never a speaker? Am I still Nick Vujicic? Do I have the still same value? What if I tried speaking and I failed at speaking? And my heart gave out to say, I give up. Maybe there's something better for Nick Vujicic. Whatever it is, do it with all of your heart for as long as your heart says. Between your heart, your mind, and your soul and spirit, take one step at a time. One step at a time, one step at a time. You want to know how I got my invitations? I started from zero. Everyone say zero. Everyone say zero. I want you to know that many successful people start at zero. My friend in Brazil, he was a shoe shiner at age 4. His house was maybe twice the size of this platform, with his mum, with his dad, and his 2 brothers. His father was a shoe shiner. His grandfather was a shoe shiner. His great-great-great-grandfather was a shoe shiner. That's what they did to survive. At age 8, he was crossing the road and he got hit by a car. He got knocked out unconscious. A doctor happened to be there at the intersection and brought him back. Guess what happened? When Edson Bueno, when he opened up his eyes, he realized what happened. And this doctor saved his life. You know what he said? I'm not going to be a shoe shiner. I'm going to be a doctor. He starved himself enough to get money to get a uniform, because you can't go to school without a uniform. He went to school and he became #1 in his class. Every class he went, grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He was #1. Then he went to every single foundation and scholarship offer that he could get. And he got a full ride into scholarship. Why? Because he told them their story and he told them, I don't care what it takes, I'm gonna be a doctor. and they gave him a free ride. At age 33 years old, he started his first hospital with 9 employees. Today, at 63 years old, he had a company that he just sold. Do you know what the company was? A company called Amil, which is an insurance company. 10% of all Brazil, or 5%, were all actually on his insurance company. $5 billion a year. 150,000 employees. Wow! Because he realized that he's got to try. And if he fails, he's not a failure. Try again. Try harder. That was his destiny. Me? How do I become a speaker? Try. I got a list of many schools and just their phone number, and I didn't know what to do. So what did I do? I just called these schools. Hello? Hi. My name is Nick, and I am a speaker. Can I come to your school and speak? And she said, no thank you, and hung up the phone. Was that a success or a failure? Failure. Is it okay to fail? Yes. Does everyone fail? Yes. Is it okay to try again? Yes. So did I call the same school? No, but I called another school. Hello? Hi, my name is Nick, and I have no arms and legs. What? I said, my name is Nick, and I have no limbs. Well, how are you holding the phone? She didn't believe me. Hung up the phone. Third one. Hello. Hello, my name is Nick Vujicic, and I have no limbs, and I'm a speaker. Can I come to your school, please, to speak? Let me check with the principal. I'll call you back. I gave her my number. I hung up the phone. She called me back. Hello, this is Nick Vujicic. Oh, hi, Nick. We spoke to the principal, and we agreed that because you have no arms and legs, you definitely should not come to us as a speaker because you're just going to freak everyone out. True story. And hung up the phone. I called another one, called another one, called another one. I called 15 schools, 23 schools, 31 schools, 49 schools, 53 schools. I called 53. 52 all said no, 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 thank you. And on the 53rd phone call, I got better and better and better and better. Hello, my name is Vujicic. I'm a professional motivational speaker, and I was wondering if I can come and speak at your school about bullying, self-esteem, dreaming big, and never giving up. Okay. Wait. What do I do now? Okay. Can you pay? What? It's all for free? I'm so sorry, I had my car. She said, well, what's your cost? I said, $50. She said, okay. Yes. So I go to this school, and guess what? It was a 2.5-hour drive there. It was a bad business model. I had to pay $50 for my brother to take me to the school. And I had to pay for fuel. I felt like I'm a failure. I didn't even ask her, how many people am I going to speak to, or how long I'm going to speak for. I was terrible. I call 53 schools to get one yes, and I pay my brother $50 and the fuel to drive them 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back, which is 5 hours, and I had no idea how long I'm speaking for. I get there and I find out I'm only speaking for 5 minutes. My brother died of laughter. Do you know what? That day, I decided I would not be a speaker. Nick, you're crazy. Nick, this is stupid. Just be an accountant, like your dad said. I went to bed crying. It's hard to fail. In the morning, my phone was ringing, very early for a teenager, 8:30 in the morning. Who is calling me so early? Second time. And I was sad, because I felt like I failed just the day before. Again, third time. All right. I pick up the phone. I'm very tired. Hello?
Hello, is this like Vujicic motivational speaker?
Yes. Hi, good morning. How are you? How can I help you? Oh, we heard that you're really good, and we are in Brisbane. We understand that you're in Brisbane. Is that true? I said, yes. She said, look, we need you because we heard that you talk about bullying. I said, yes, I talk about bullying. She said, please, we'll do anything we can. We'll pay you, we'll pick you up, we'll do anything you need us to do. But Nick, tell us, how do we get into your schedule? Because we know that you must be so busy. And I said, let me check my schedule. I get my diary out, and blank page. I said, how about next Friday? They say, okay. I'm like, awesome. So they did it, and then I spoke at that school, then another school heard about me, I spoke at another school, another school. I have today 35,000 invitations for me to speak. 35,000. We get 100 a week. I didn't even see them. My team now sees them. I don't have to say no. They say no for me. I want you to know, you got to think bigger. You got to try. But know that the greatest thing of all is the truth of your identity. Take out my tongue. Take off my ears. Take off my nose and burn my face. You can't touch my spirit, you can't touch my heart, and you can't touch my mind. You are beautiful just the way you are. You don't need to be a speaker. You don't need to be a millionaire. You need to be the best you that you can be. And the greatest thing of all is when you don't get a miracle, you can still be a miracle for someone else. And when I spoke in front of a church, there was a little boy with no arms and legs that I saw, and I'm like, wow, he looks exactly like me, and a little foot like me. And I hugged his mom and I hugged his dad. And it said when he goes to school and he gets bullied, I'm going to come to his school in my wheelchair and I'm going to run them all over. No, I didn't do that, but I went there 6 years ago and it was beautiful. Now he knows that he has hope. And for me, I want you to know that hope is everything. Everything. Not money, not drugs, not sex, not alcohol, not pornography, fame, fortune. If you put your happiness in these things, your happiness will be temporary. But when you realize that you can make a difference, like the janitor made a difference in me, you can make a difference like my parents made for me, in your kids, in the kids next door to you. Whatever it is, we all have a purpose. And I want you to fulfill your greatest, most fulfilling destiny of all. Never give up. Dream big. Sometimes you are the greatest hindrance to your greatest success. So get out of your way. Have faith. For me, my faith in God, my prayer life is very important. And I believe that the greatest destiny for me is heaven. And everywhere I go, I can plant seeds of faith and having people understand that there is hope beyond this life. Some people say that all you need is positivity. Positivity can only take you so far. Some people say reincarnation, better luck next time. That wasn't for me. What do you say in front of some people who've gone through something very bad? Do you have hope to share with them? When you put your head to sleep tonight, if tomorrow didn't come, do you have hope? Because my dad has, and I have. And I want you to know that when you find real hope and the truth of your value and the truth of your purpose, that's when you become unstoppable. I've had 3 death threats in my life, and I don't get scared. I failed at many things, but I keep on trying again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just like you. Ups and downs, ups and downs. Success and failure. Trying and failing. Trying again. But the greatest thing of all is that in everything you do it in love. Men, listen to me very carefully. Your greatest mission is to be the best husband that you can be. Loyal. Take your wife out on a date once a week. I do. Don't tell me that you're too busy. I have 1,194 unread text messages right now on my phone. No joke. If I take my phone to the dining table at our home, my wife, she grabs the phone and puts it on the highest shelf that I cannot reach. There are things that I cannot do with my sons. I can't throw a ball at them. I can't throw them up in the air, but I can still do some things. And I want you to know that men, we need to charge the front line of values, of principles, because family is more important than business. Family is more important than money. I would rather be a poor person who never lies than a rich person who lied to get there. It would be great to be an honest rich man. But I want you to know whatever your destiny is, it's not about money. It's about fulfilling your destiny, doing your best to encourage others. This little boy, Daniel, now he swims. Now he knows that there's a hope and a plan for his life. And if I, without arms and legs, can reach out to be the hands and feet of love, of truth, and of faith, then we all can help somebody. Can't we help somebody? When your children complain, oh, I want this phone, oh, I want these shoes, go and take them to a poor place to go feed the poor people here in the Philippines. I would not have gone to university if it wasn't for Australians helping Australians. It was a non-profit organization that supplied me a nurse to go to tertiary studies. Australia was not paved with gold. Still today is not paved with gold. America is